Number 7, John Howard. Why not? Why not John Howard?
Mr. Toastmaster, it was a cool and a foggy morning, September 18th, 1862, when 150,000 men came marching into that valley. At the end of this day, over 23,000 of these men will be dead. And this will be remembered as the bloodiest battle in American history, Antietam. William was there. He was a 19-year-old sergeant in a commissary unit, far behind the front lines. He was away from the shooting, the shouting, the screaming, and the dying. And as that battle went on that day, he became concerned about the men in his regiment because they hadn't had anything to eat. And that was his job, his responsibility. And he thought about it as he paced back and forth. And then suddenly, he exploded into action. He loaded a wagon full of hot food and drinks, and he headed straight into that tidal wave of terror. And guards along the way, soldiers, told him to stop, to go back, that it was much too dangerous. But William continued. When the mules were shot out from under him, he scavenged around in the battle area. He found more mules. Nothing would stop, and nothing would discourage William that day. The men in his regiment were fed. Few other soldiers were. What drove young William to such acts of intrepidity and bravery? What created this overwhelming sense of duty and responsibility, this driving urge to act? Two things. One, he had a clear, precise goal, a purpose, a mission. Two, he focused all of his thoughts and actions and energies on achieving that goal. He didn't think about the problems or the hazards. Do you realize those are the two most important thoughts you will hear today? Do you realize that virtually every success and achievement in this life rests squarely and is predicated upon those two key concepts: clear, precise, meaningful goals, and focusing on the results, not the problems. Goals and focus. Goals and focus. And that's what drove young William that morning. In fact, that drove him throughout his entire life right into the presidency. William McKinley, our 25th President of the United States. Well, those are critical concepts, but they're applicable to every aspect of our life. Recently, a Toastmaster friend of mine applied them very well to her chubby husband. She'd finally talked him into a jogging program, but reluctantly, he got up early that first morning and he struggled into his sweats and in his running shoes. He was surprised by a knock at the front door. He opened it, and there was a beautiful, gorgeous, shapely blonde in running clothes. "My name's Jerry. Your wife says if you can catch me, you can have me." He was an inspired runner, both blocks. But every morning he got up early, every morning there was a knock on the door, and every morning he ran his heart out. Day by day, he got stronger and faster and closer. One day he almost caught her. And you could just tell by the gleam in his eye that tomorrow was going to be the day. He got up early that next morning. He raced to the door when the knock came. He opened it, and there was a giant, ugly, muscular blonde in running clothes. "My name is Old Guy. Your wife says if I can catch you, I can have you." Goals and focus. Goals and focus. Only clear, precise goals give purpose and meaning and direction to our lives. And only by focusing on the results do we find the desire, the courage to change our lives, to rise above those personal tragedies that may befall us, to overcome our personal handicaps. In the mid-1700s, Moses Mendelssohn was considered to be one of the brightest, most intelligent young men in all of Germany. But he had a hunchback. Once while visiting friends in Hamburg, he met a wealthy merchant who had a beautiful daughter named Frumpse, and he fell helplessly, hopelessly in love. He explained to the merchant how much he loved Frumpse. He would like to marry her. But the merchant was concerned. Moses, without a doubt, you are the most intelligent young man I've ever met. My daughter is afraid of you. Because of my hunchback? Yes. He was devastated. Oh, so close, so much in love, and yet so far away. May I speak to her once more before I leave? When he found Frumsey, he began to speak to her about the affairs and the events of the day. Eventually got up enough courage to speak to her about that which was the most driving urge and thought in his life. Frumsey, do you believe, as our religion teaches, that marriages are made in heaven? Oh, yes. Yes, I believe that when each boy is born, they announce that birth in heaven, and they announce the name of his wife as well. Frumsey, I keep having this frightful dream. I dream that at my birth, I hear them announce the name of my wife, Frumsey. But then I hear them say, oh, the poor thing. She will be deformed. She will have a hunchback. No! Oh, no! A deformity like that on such a beautiful woman would make her bitter. Give it to me. Give it to me. And Frumsey no longer saw the deformed hunchback. She saw a man who was strong and sensitive and caring, and she married Moses Mendelssohn. Goals and focus. Isn't that what this organization is all about? Goals and focus. Helen, isn't that what gave us 552 new clubs to over 10,000 new members? Goals and focus. Isn't that going to keep the spirit alive, Ted? That's what it's all about. Do you sense the power that you have when you combine those two key elements? Goals and focus. You have your future, don't you? Why not be a top 10 club? Why not be one of the international contestants? And why not make yourself a miracle?